Humanity's first contact with an alien civilization was far from a grand diplomatic affair. It began as a routine exploratory mission by the USS Endeavour, a state-of-the-art starship under the command of Captain Jason Reynolds. The Endeavour was tasked with charting new territories in the vast reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy. On the 73rd day of their mission, the Endeavour detected an unusual energy signature. Curious, and ever the explorer, Captain Reynolds ordered the ship to investigate. As they approached, the source of the signal revealed itself, a massive alien fleet, unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. The fleet was sleek and ominous, with ships that shimmered in the dark expanse of space. Before the Endeavour could retreat, the alien fleet closed in. The Chrythons, a reptilian species known for their conquests, had captured the human ship with frightening efficiency. The crew, bewildered and outmatched, found themselves prisoners aboard their own vessel. The Chrythons took great pleasure in mocking their captives. Their leader, Overlord Zarnok, a towering figure with scales that glittered like dark emeralds, was particularly disdainful. He found human technology laughably primitive, and their weapons little more than toys. With a sneer, he informed Captain Reynolds that the humans would serve as guinea pigs for testing new Chrython weaponry. Despite the dire situation, Captain Reynolds remained calm. He secretly activated a distress signal, sending a desperate plea back to Earth. He knew the odds were slim, but he hoped that humanity would not abandon them. Back on Earth, the United Earth Council convened an emergency session as soon as they received Captain Reynolds' distress signal. The council, composed of representatives from the world's leading nations, was in turmoil. The revelation of an advanced alien threat had shaken the very foundations of Earth's security. President Eleanor Hayes, a woman known for her decisive leadership, called the meeting to order. "Ladies and gentlemen, we face an unprecedented crisis. The Chrythons have captured one of our ships and its crew. We must decide our course of action." The room buzzed with tension. Some representatives argued for negotiation, fearing the consequences of angering a superior force. Others, driven by a sense of duty and defiance, called for immediate military action. Admiral Sarah Thompson, a decorated veteran and head of the United Earth Space Force, rose to speak. "Negotiation with the Chrythons would be futile. They see us as nothing more than insects. We must respond with strength. Our best chance is to launch a rescue mission, demonstrate our resolve, and show them that humanity will not be intimidated." After hours of heated debate, the Council reached a decision. They would send a fleet to the Andromeda Galaxy, led by Admiral Thompson herself. The fleet would include Earth's most advanced starships, equipped with the latest in human technology. As preparations for the mission began, Admiral Thompson addressed her crew. "We are embarking on a mission that will define humanity's future. The Chrythons believe they can subjugate us, but they underestimate our resilience and our will to fight. We will rescue our comrades and show the galaxy that humanity stands united." The fleet, a shining testament to human ingenuity and determination, set out towards the Andromeda Galaxy. The journey was fraught with uncertainty, but one thing was clear. Humanity would not bow to the Chrythons. The rescue of the Endeavour's crew was only the beginning of a conflict that would test the very limits of human courage and ingenuity. Admiral Sarah Thompson's fleet, comprised of Earth's most advanced starships, slipped into the Andromeda Galaxy, each vessel brimming with anticipation and determination. They navigated the vast expanse of space, following the faint distress signal from the USS Endeavour. The fleet maintained a stealthy approach, hoping to catch the Chrythons off guard. As they neared the coordinates, the fleet encountered a Chrython patrol. A brief but intense skirmish ensued, with Admiral Thompson's tactical brilliance shining through. The human ships, though smaller and less powerful, used superior maneuverability and innovative tactics to outwit the Chrythons. The patrol was swiftly neutralized, but the element of surprise was lost. The Chrython fleet, alerted to the humans' presence, moved to intercept. The ensuing battle was brutal. Chrython ships, larger and equipped with devastating weaponry, launched relentless assaults on the human fleet. Despite the overwhelming odds, the human ships fought valiantly. Admiral Thompson coordinated the defense with precision, utilizing hit-and-run tactics and exploiting the Chrython's overconfidence. Meanwhile, aboard the USS Endeavour, Captain Jason Reynolds and his crew seized the opportunity presented by the chaos. They had been secretly sabotaging their captors' systems for days, waiting for the right moment to strike. With the Chrython fleet distracted, Reynolds and his team launched a daring assault on their captors, disabling the ship's internal security and freeing themselves from captivity. The freed crew fought their way to the control room, where they took control of the Chrython ship. Using the captured vessel's communication systems, Captain Reynolds coordinated with Admiral Thompson, providing critical intelligence about the Chrython fleet's weaknesses. With the Endeavour's crew now actively participating in the battle, the tide began to turn. Human ships, guided by Reynolds' inside information, targeted key Chrython vessels, crippling their formation. The Chrython fleet, unprepared for such coordinated resistance, started to falter. In a final, desperate push, Admiral Thompson ordered an all-out assault on the Chrython flagship. The battle reached a fever pitch as human ships converged on the massive vessel. Amidst the chaos, Captain Reynolds led a boarding party onto the flagship, determined to confront Overlord Zarnok himself. The confrontation was intense. Reynolds and his team fought their way through the Chrython guards, reaching the bridge where Zarnok awaited. The Overlord, despite his confidence, was no match for the determined humans. The battle culminated in a fierce hand-to-hand fight between Reynolds and Zarnok, ending with the Overlord's defeat. With their leader captured and their flagship disabled, the remaining Chrython forces retreated. The rescue mission was a resounding success. The Endeavour's crew was safe, and the human fleet had struck a significant blow against the Chrythons. But the war was far from over. As the humans celebrated their victory, they discovered a hidden Chrython base on a nearby planet. The base, sprawling and heavily fortified, was a staging ground for an impending invasion of the neighboring star system. This system was home to the Lyrians, a peaceful and deeply spiritual race known for their advanced medical knowledge and harmony with nature. Admiral Thompson saw an opportunity to turn the tide of the war further in humanity's favor. She decided to forge an alliance with the Lyrians. Accompanied by Captain Reynolds and a small delegation, she traveled to the Lyrian homeworld to seek their support. The Lyrians, a humanoid species with delicate features and an ethereal presence, were initially wary of the humans. Their leader, High Priestess Ilara, was skeptical of the humans' motives. "We have lived in peace for centuries," she said. "Why should we involve ourselves in your war?" Captain Reynolds, still recovering from his ordeal but resolute, addressed the Lyrian Council. "We did not seek this conflict. The Chrythons attacked us unprovoked and plan to do the same to you. Together, we can stand against them. Alone, we will fall." Admiral Thompson added, "We do not come as conquerors, but as allies. Your knowledge and our technology united can stop the Chrythons and bring lasting peace to our galaxies." The Lyrians deliberated, their decision not made lightly. After a tense period of waiting, High Priestess Ilara agreed to the alliance. "We will stand with you, Admiral Thompson, but know this. We fight not for conquest, but for the preservation of peace." With the Lyrians' medical expertise and their knowledge of the Chrython tactics gained from years of covert observation, the alliance grew stronger. The combined human and Lyrian forces launched a coordinated attack on the Chrython base, leveraging their complementary strengths. The battle for the Chrython base was fierce. The humans, with their advanced weaponry and strategic acumen, provided the main assault force, while the Lyrians used their unparalleled healing abilities to support the troops and their intimate knowledge of the terrain for guerrilla tactics. Despite the Chrython's formidable defenses, the alliance prevailed. The base was captured, and valuable intelligence was recovered. This victory solidified the bond between humans and Lyrians, proving that unity and cooperation could overcome even the most daunting challenges. As the dust settled, Admiral Thompson addressed her combined forces. "Today, we have shown that together we are stronger than any of us could be alone. The Chrythons sought to divide and conquer, but we have united in the face of adversity. This is just the beginning. Together we will bring an end to their tyranny." The alliance, now a beacon of hope in the galaxy, prepared for the next phase of their campaign. They knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but they were ready to face it together, united by a common purpose and the promise of a brighter future. Despite their recent victories, the Alliance knew that the Chrythons would not remain passive for long. True to form, the Chrythons launched a massive counterattack, determined to crush the human-Lyrian alliance before it could gain further momentum. The invasion force targeted both human and Lyrian worlds, aiming to destabilize the coalition and reassert Chrython dominance. The Chrythons' first target was Lyra Prime, the Lyrian homeworld. The Chrython fleet descended upon the planet with brutal efficiency, their ships blotting out the skies as they unleashed a relentless bombardment. Admiral Thompson and her fleet, bolstered by Lyrian defenders, rushed to intercept the invaders. The ensuing battle was a nightmarish clash of firepower and strategy. Chrython ships, bristling with advanced weaponry, unleashed waves of destruction. Human and Lyrian forces responded with a combination of tactical precision and sheer tenacity. The Lyrians, though less advanced technologically, utilized their intimate knowledge of their home terrain and their unparalleled medical support to sustain the fight. On the ground, Captain Jason Reynolds led a joint human-Lyrian strike team in a desperate bid to repel the Chrython ground assault. The battlefields of Lyra Prime became a chaotic blend of high-tech weaponry and guerrilla tactics. The Chrythons, accustomed to overwhelming their enemies with brute force, were caught off guard by the resilience and adaptability of the Alliance. Amid the chaos, a new hero emerged, Lyrian Commander Selene, a brilliant tactician with a deep understanding of Chrython strategy. She coordinated the planet's defense with Captain Reynolds, their combined efforts turning the tide of battle. Together, they orchestrated daring ambushes, cutting off Chrython supply lines and disrupting their command structure. In space, Admiral Thompson devised a bold plan to break the Chrython fleet. She ordered a concentrated attack on the Chrython flagship, hoping to decapitate their command structure. The flagship, heavily guarded, was a daunting target. But the Alliance's combined forces, driven by the urgency of protecting Lyra Prime, launched a coordinated assault. The battle around the flagship was intense. Human and Lyrian ships darted through the Chrython formation, dodging enemy fire and striking with precision. Admiral Thompson, aboard her command ship, directed the attack with unwavering focus. The Chrython flagship, though formidable, began to buckle under the relentless assault. As the flagship's shields failed, Admiral Thompson ordered an all-out attack. The flagship's destruction sent shockwaves through the Chrython fleet, causing disarray and confusion. Seizing the moment, the Alliance pressed their advantage, driving the Chrython forces into a full retreat. The victory at Lyra Prime was a significant turning point. The Chrythons, accustomed to swift and decisive victories, had been dealt a humiliating blow. The Alliance, though battered, emerged stronger and more determined than ever. The successful defense of Lyra Prime not only saved the Lyrian homeworld, but also solidified the Alliance's resolve to fight on. Despite their victory at Lyra Prime, the Chrythons were far from defeated. In a bold and desperate move, they decided to strike directly at the heart of humanity, Earth. The Chrythons believed that a decisive victory on humanity's homeworld would shatter the Alliance and demoralize their enemies. The Chrython fleet, larger and more formidable than any seen before, entered the Sol system with ruthless efficiency. Earth's defense forces, led by Admiral Thompson, scrambled to respond. The stakes had never been higher, and the battle for Earth's survival began. The Chrython assault was relentless. Their ships, bristling with advanced weaponry, rained destruction upon Earth's orbital defenses. Human ships, outnumbered and outgunned, fought back with everything they had. Admiral Thompson, coordinating the defense from the command ship Endeavour, knew that Earth's fate hung in the balance. On the ground, Captain Reynolds led a desperate defense of key installations. The Chrythons, seeking to cripple Earth's infrastructure, launched ground assaults on major cities and military bases. Reynolds and his team, along with local defense forces, engaged in brutal urban warfare. The streets of Earth became battlegrounds, with every block and building fiercely contested. Amid the chaos, Earth's forces displayed unparalleled courage and ingenuity. Advanced cyber warfare units disrupted Krython communications, while experimental weapons turned the tide in key skirmishes. The Krythons, expecting an easy victory, found themselves bogged down in a protracted and bloody conflict. In space, the battle reached a critical point. The Krython flagship, a colossal vessel brimming with firepower, was the linchpin of their assault. Admiral Thompson devised a daring plan, a direct assault on the flagship, using Earth's remaining heavy hitters in a high-risk maneuver. The battle around the Krython flagship was a maelstrom of destruction. Human ships, led by the Endeavour, closed in on the behemoth, dodging waves of enemy fire. The flagship's shields and weapon systems were formidable, but the humans fought with a ferocity born of desperation. Captain Reynolds, having repelled the ground assault, joined the space battle with a newly repaired and retrofitted Lyrian cruiser. Using the cruiser's advanced cloaking technology, he infiltrated the Krython flagship, leading a boarding party to disable its systems from within. The fight aboard the flagship was intense. Reynolds and his team, navigating the labyrinthine corridors, engaged in close-quarters combat with Krython soldiers. Their mission? To reach the flagship's core and plant explosives that would cripple the vessel. As the battle raged outside, Reynolds and his team fought their way to the core. Facing heavy resistance, they managed to plant the explosives and initiate a countdown. With seconds to spare, they made their escape, evading Krython forces in a desperate dash to their ship. The explosions rocked the Krython flagship, causing catastrophic damage. Admiral Thompson seized the moment, ordering a full-scale assault. Human ships, rallying around the Endeavour, unleashed a barrage of firepower, targeting the flagship's weakened points. The flagship's destruction was a turning point. The Krython fleet, leaderless and in disarray, began to retreat. Earth's defenders, emboldened by their victory, pursued the fleeing invaders, ensuring that the Krythons would not regroup. The battle for Earth was won, but at a tremendous cost. The victory, however, galvanized the alliance. Humanity had defended its homeworld against overwhelming odds, proving their resilience and determination. The Krythons, once confident in their superiority, had been humbled. In the aftermath, Admiral Thompson addressed the exhausted but triumphant forces. Today, we have shown the galaxy that humanity will not be conquered. We stand united with our allies against any who would threaten our freedom. This is our home, and we will defend it with our lives. The alliance, now stronger and more determined than ever, prepared for the next phase of their campaign. The battle for Earth had proven that the Krythons could be defeated, and the fight for the galaxy's future was far from over. United and resolute, they vowed to bring an end to the Krython threat once and for all. With the victory at Earth fresh in their minds, the Alliance began to press their advantage. The Krythons, reeling from their defeat, retreated to fortified positions, but the Alliance was relentless in their pursuit. Admiral Thompson and the coalition forces launched a series of counter-offensives aimed at dismantling the Krython Empire's infrastructure and freeing occupied worlds. The Alliance's first target was the Krython stronghold of Zareen, a heavily fortified planet that served as a major hub for the Krython military. The Krythons, expecting a direct assault, had bolstered their defenses significantly. Admiral Thompson, however, had other plans. Utilizing the element of surprise, the Alliance deployed advanced stealth technology developed through a combination of human and Lyrian ingenuity. A covert strike force, led by Captain Jason Reynolds, infiltrated the Krython defenses under the cover of darkness. Their mission: to sabotage the planetary shields and disable key defense systems. Reynolds and his team, composed of elite human and Lyrian operatives, moved with precision and stealth. Navigating the hostile terrain and avoiding patrols, they reached the shield generator. A fierce battle ensued as they fought to breach the heavily guarded facility. Using a mix of guerrilla tactics and advanced weaponry, the team managed to plant charges and escape just as the generator exploded, bringing down the planetary shields. With the shields down, Admiral Thompson ordered an all-out assault. The Alliance fleet descended upon Zareen, unleashing a torrent of firepower. Krython defenses, though formidable, were no match for the combined might of the Alliance. Starfighters engaged in dogfights, capital ships exchanged broadsides, and ground forces stormed the planet's surface. In the midst of the chaos, Commander Selene led a contingent of Lyrian healers and human medics, tending to the wounded and ensuring that the Alliance soldiers could continue fighting. Their efforts were crucial in maintaining the momentum of the assault, turning the tide in favor of the Alliance. As the battle raged on, Captain Reynolds led a daring raid on the Krython Command Center. Fighting through waves of defenders, his team breached the facility and confronted General Kale, the Krython commander responsible for numerous atrocities. In a tense standoff, Reynolds managed to capture Kale, delivering a significant blow to the Krython leadership. The fall of Zareen marked a critical victory for the Alliance. The Krython forces, demoralized and disorganized, began to retreat from other occupied worlds. The Alliance, buoyed by their success, launched a series of liberation campaigns, freeing countless species from Krython oppression. As the Alliance continued its campaign, intelligence reports indicated that the Krythons were not the only force at play. A shadowy faction within the Krython Empire, known as the Shadows, had been manipulating events from behind the scenes. This revelation prompted Admiral Thompson to investigate further, suspecting that the Shadows had their own agenda. The Alliance's investigation led them to the desolate planet of Neros, rumored to be the Shadows' base of operations. Admiral Thompson assembled a task force, including Captain Reynolds and Commander Selene, to infiltrate the planet and uncover the Shadows' secrets. Neros, a barren world with a harsh environment, was riddled with ancient ruins and hidden facilities. The task force, equipped with advanced reconnaissance gear, began their mission under the cover of a severe dust storm. Navigating the treacherous terrain, they encountered remnants of Krython experiments and evidence of the Shadows' presence. The deeper they ventured, the more they uncovered about the Shadows. This faction, it turned out, was an ancient race predating the Krythons, with their own sinister motives. They had been using the Krython Empire as a pawn to further their plans for galactic domination. The task force eventually located a hidden underground facility, guarded by advanced security systems and elite Krython soldiers. After a series of skirmishes and hacking through layers of security, they breached the facility and discovered the Shadows' command center. Inside, they encountered a figure known as Varus, the enigmatic leader of the Shadows. Varus, with his unsettling presence and cryptic speech, revealed that the Shadows had been manipulating the Krythons to weaken other civilizations, paving the way for their own ascension. He offered the Alliance a choice: join the Shadows or face annihilation. Captain Reynolds, embodying the spirit of the Alliance, rejected Varus's offer. "We fight for freedom and unity," he declared. "We will never bow to tyranny, no matter the form it takes." A fierce battle erupted within the facility. The task force, outnumbered but undeterred, fought valiantly against the Shadows' forces. Commander Selene, using her tactical acumen, coordinated the defense while Reynolds engaged Varus in a deadly duel. The clash of wills and weapons was intense, with Reynolds ultimately gaining the upper hand. As Varus lay defeated, he warned of a greater threat lurking in the Shadows, a dire prophecy that foretold of a coming darkness. With his final breath, he activated a self-destruct sequence, forcing the task force to make a hasty retreat. Escaping the facility just in time, the task force regrouped and reported their findings to Admiral Thompson. The revelation of the Shadows' existence and their manipulations sent shockwaves through the Alliance. It became clear that the battle against the Krythons was only part of a larger conflict. Admiral Thompson addressed the Alliance, her resolve unwavering. "We have faced darkness and emerged stronger. The Shadows sought to divide us, but they have only united us further. We will uncover their secrets and put an end to their machinations. Together, we will face whatever comes next and protect the future of our galaxy." With renewed determination, the Alliance prepared for the next phase of their journey. The secrets unveiled on Neros had opened a new chapter in their struggle, one that would test their unity and resilience like never before. The fight against the Shadows had begun, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. With the Shadows' influence exposed, The Alliance knew their fight was far from over. The Krython Empire, now fractured and weakened, still posed a threat, but the true enemy lay in the shadows and their insidious plans for galactic domination. The Alliance had to act swiftly and decisively to thwart this ancient menace. The intelligence gathered from Neros pointed to the Shadow's main stronghold, a fortress hidden within the uncharted nebula of despair, a region notorious for its treacherous space storms and unpredictable anomalies. Admiral Thompson, Captain Reynolds, and Commander Selene devised a bold plan to infiltrate the nebula and confront the shadows at their source. The journey to the nebula of despair was fraught with peril. The Alliance fleet, navigating through the turbulent space, faced constant threats from natural hazards and ambushes by shadow-aligned forces. The morale of the troops was tested, but the leadership of Thompson, Reynolds, and Selene kept their spirits high. Upon reaching the heart of the nebula, the Alliance fleet discovered the Shadow's fortress, a colossal, foreboding structure surrounded by a defensive fleet of Krython warships and advanced shadow drones. The Alliance prepared for what would be their final and most decisive battle. Admiral Thompson divided the fleet into multiple strike groups, each tasked with specific objectives to dismantle the Shadow's defenses. Captain Reynolds and his elite strike team would lead a direct assault on the fortress, aiming to disable its core systems and confront Varys' successor, the enigmatic shadow warlord known as Zaylor. The battle commenced with a ferocity unmatched by any previous engagement. Alliance ships clashed with Krython and Shadow forces in a brutal space battle, while ground troops launched coordinated assaults on the fortress's exterior. The air was thick with the sound of laser fire and the explosions of starships. Inside the fortress, Captain Reynolds and his team fought their way through waves of shadow soldiers. The corridors of the fortress were a maze of traps and deadly confrontations, each step forward won with blood and sweat. Commander Selene, coordinating from the command center, provided real-time tactical support, guiding the strike team through the labyrinthine stronghold. As they neared the core of the fortress, Reynolds and his team encountered Zaylor, a towering figure exuding dark energy. Zaylor, wielding advanced technology and ancient powers, was a formidable opponent. The clash between Reynolds and Zaylor was intense, each strike and parry echoing with the stakes of the entire galaxy. Reynolds, drawing upon the determination and courage that had defined his journey, managed to outmaneuver Zaylor. In a final, desperate move, he delivered a decisive blow, defeating the Shadow Warlord and disrupting the fortress's command structure. With Zaylor's fall, the Shadow's control began to crumble. Outside, Admiral Thompson's forces, bolstered by the news of Zaylor's defeat, pushed harder against the Krython and Shadow fleets. The Alliance's unity and resilience proved superior, and the enemy forces began to disintegrate under the relentless assault. The fortress, now destabilized, started to collapse. Reynolds and his team, racing against time, managed to escape just as the structure imploded. The Alliance fleet, victorious, withdrew from the nebula, carrying with them the hope of a new era. With the Shadows defeated and the Krython Empire in disarray, the galaxy stood on the brink of a new beginning. The Alliance, forged in the crucible of war, now faced the monumental task of rebuilding and ensuring lasting peace. Admiral Thompson convened a summit on Lyra Prime, inviting representatives from all liberated worlds and species. The purpose was clear: to establish a galactic union, a coalition dedicated to mutual defense, cooperation, and the preservation of peace. High Priestess Ilara and Commander Selene played key roles in the discussions, their wisdom and experience guiding the formation of this new alliance. Captain Jason Reynolds, hailed as a hero, found himself at the center of attention. Despite his humility, he was celebrated for his bravery and leadership. He used his newfound influence to advocate for the rights of all species and the importance of unity and cooperation. The summit concluded with the signing of the Galactic Union Charter, a historic document that laid the foundation for a new era. The Union's primary goals included promoting technological exchange, fostering cultural understanding, and preventing the rise of future threats like the Shadows. In the aftermath of the war, reconstruction efforts began in earnest. Earth and Lyra Prime became hubs of activity, with fleets of ships ferrying supplies and personnel to rebuild war-torn worlds. The spirit of cooperation and camaraderie that had developed during the conflict now fueled the reconstruction efforts. Admiral Thompson, appointed as the first leader of the Galactic Union Defense Force, oversaw the integration of diverse military units into a unified command. The new force, composed of humans, Lyrians, and other species, stood as a symbol of the Union's strength and commitment to peace. Captain Reynolds, meanwhile, took on a new role as an ambassador for the Union, traveling to newly liberated worlds and helping to ease their transition into the Union. His journeys took him to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, where he continued to forge bonds and build alliances. High Priestess Alara, recognizing the need for healing and reconciliation, established the Galactic Council of Wisdom, a body dedicated to promoting understanding and resolving conflicts through dialogue and mediation. Commander Selene, now a prominent member of this council, worked tirelessly to ensure that the lessons learned from the war would guide future generations. As the years passed, the galaxy began to heal. The memory of the Shadow's tyranny faded, replaced by a collective commitment to peace and prosperity. The Galactic Union thrived, a testament to the strength and resilience of its member worlds. One day, standing on the balcony of the Galactic Union headquarters on Lyra Prime, Admiral Thompson, Captain Reynolds, and Commander Selene looked out at the bustling city below. The skyline was filled with ships from countless worlds, a vibrant tapestry of cultures and technologies united in purpose. "We did it," Reynolds said, a note of pride in his voice. "We built something that will last." Thompson nodded. "We faced the darkness and emerged stronger. This is just the beginning." Selene smiled, her eyes reflecting the hope of a new dawn. "The future is ours to shape. Together, we will ensure that the galaxy remains a place of peace and unity." As the three leaders stood together, the sun rose over Lyra Prime, casting a golden light over the city. It was a new day, a new dawn for the galaxy, and the promise of a brighter future shone brightly on the horizon.